What's up, Gemini friends? Thank you for joining me on my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. Welcome to each and every one of you. Welcome back to the subscribers. I appreciate you all. Welcome to the newbies. I hope you enjoyed some of the messages we're about to send out to all the Geminis in the world. Cross-watchers are always welcome. So these are general messages. As always, that means that not everything I say in these videos are going to resonate with everyone out there. So please only take away messages for your best and highest good. You should know intuitively what those are. Never force something to fit your circumstance or scenario. If it doesn't ring a bell, if it doesn't resonate, you can drop it like it's hot. You can push it aside. You don't need it, okay? That being said, I hope a lot of this resonates. Feel free to check your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for additional messages, for more clarity. Again, if you want to cross-watch, go for it. We are going to do finances and career. We'll see what we can get for the Geminis. All right. See if we can get one more. Everything you're going to need to know about this video will be in the description box below, including the decks I'm using, as well as the social media channels, etc. All right, let's do it for the gems. The Seven of Fire. That's the bottom of your deck card. I'm going to try to... There we go. Got to get the angles right with the sunlight here. The Seven of Fire is your bottom of the deck card. Okay. So this can sometimes be challenges, a test of our faith, feeling like we have six people, 6 obstacles, 6 wands coming at us, and we got to put up a fight, right? We have to prove our own strength to spirit, but to ourselves ultimately. And the kind of the moral of the story, if you will, of this card is, look, he has the higher ground. You've had the higher ground the whole time, Gemini. You just had to realize it yourself, right? Even though it felt like you were outnumbered, you were going to be defeated. You got this. I like that energy for a career spread. So maybe some conflict going on. Let's see. So the U card. Oh, interesting. Libra just had this too. It was not a great spread. Just kidding. It was fantastic. All right. So we have the Five of Air. Five of Air talks about petty conflict, right? We were just saying there may be some conflict going on. Yep, there is. So this is the you section, right? This doesn't mean this is representative of you, but it's what's going on. It can be internally, but so the petty conflicts, right? Especially when we're dealing in career spreads. You know, you think of your coworkers, the people you're working with, the clients, the upper management, whatever. There's decisions being made that are in poor taste. People aren't thinking things through sometimes. Swords are air signs, right? So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Thoughts, ideas, communications, analysis, data. Something is getting screwed up. Fives are imbalances. Something isn't right in terms of the messages being sent out, or you know, the opposite, the messages you are receiving, maybe via email, maybe, you know, the projects you're doing, there's combative arguments among the people working on it. It's not great. And with this card, we always notice that there's someone whose feelings have really been hurt. Someone has really gotten the short end of the stick in this argument because they are literally sobbing on their hands and knees. So whether this is you or this is you, someone has essentially won the battle, but you know, they're not going to win the war, that expression, because there's going to be a balancing out of this energy eventually, right? That's fate, that's karma, that's destiny. So I'm hoping, well, I don't want to say I'm hoping, but, you know, we tend to side with this person because their feelings have been overlooked. Now, we are in Gemini season, so maybe someone was literally feeling cocky, right? We've got a rooster right there. Maybe somebody, you know, took some sort of action that was not for the best, not for the best of the group dynamic. There's other people here too. I'm saying group, but let's see if we can throw a clarifier on that. Gemini, did you behave yourself? What do we got here? Now, I will say, before I even go into the clarifier, the sword of truth, if you will, right? We always, the Ace of Swords, it's pointed up, it's truth, clarity, it's justice. This person thinks they're in the right. Their sword of truth is up. It is navigated north towards the heavens, right? The messages that they were communicating, they believe they were in the right, if you will, right? So this person is headstrong, again, cocky, right? It doesn't mean that they meant to hurt someone's feelings. Again, their actions, they're justifying them because in the mind, in their headspace, they believe it is true. Their sword is pointed due north, right? Okay. So, being clarified by the Ace of Wands. Okay, so we were just talking about the Ace of Swords. Wands have to do with passion, with creativity, with growth, but with career, right? Sometimes with travel. Again, this speaks to me as someone being very strong-willed. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, specifically Aries. This isn't necessarily an Aries card, but again, the idea of a heated, passionate argument, a heated stance, a firm stance in the ground. Wands, you know, the idea of magicians, witches, wizards, they're powerful, right? This person, whether they're in a power position in the company or in the studio or wherever you work, they have taken on the energy of like a force to be reckoned with. And I'm getting it came out of nowhere. Because this is the card of petty conflict, this could have been someone who is like playing shisty games to get ahead, someone who is ruthless, someone, again, who's resorting to not the greatest actions to prove their power. Usually the Ace of Wands is a great card, but I'm not feeling it here. Even like that fiery crown that's above, it just feels like there's heated, passionate arguments that, yeah, it just doesn't feel good. I still don't know which one you are, Gemini, and we'll see what else we can find out. So that's sort of the internal, if you will. That's my, you know, my Gemini spot. The external, what's going on around you, potentially with coworkers in the work dynamic, in the group, whatever. You have the Nine of Swords. So this is the severe anxiety card. Things keeping you up in the night. So I take this to mean that this is the person who was slighted, the person who felt like they got stabbed in the back, the person who was on the receiving end of this harsh communication, this power move, this power play that kind of shifted the dynamic of the group. I do see here there's a splitting, right? There's this person, there's this poor person, and then there's these ones that are just kind of like, I don't even know. I don't know if they're neutral or they want to stay out of the conflict entirely. I don't know if they're pacifists. To be honest, I see them as, what is the word? Like they're slinking out of it. They're snake-like because they don't want to deal with it. Not conformists, but there's something about they're not dealing with it. They're just like, come on guys, like go to the break room so we don't have to deal with this, which is not Gemini energy. So I don't think you're that group. Geminis are like, I don't want to be part of the drama, but I want to listen. That's Gemini. So, and I mean, Gemini, you can have strong opinions. I think, you know, when you think you're in the right, you're willing to talk about it. And that's not always a bad thing. But again, there's a time and place for everything. And if this is the opposite end of whoever was feeling slighted, they feel really slighted. They're up in bed crying at night. They're worrying about the future. They're worrying about potentially the stability of their job. Like maybe you called them out on something and it made them look really bad, and now they're worried they're going to get fired. Yeah, the Nine of Air, this person is losing hope. Now, this is a Gemini card. So again, you can swap the rules if that fits your story. If something bad happened in the workplace to you and now you're up stressed and you're worried, again, because of petty conflict, this should not be a life-shattering, life-changing event, but it got escalated because tempers got involved. Again, growth. It grew into something greater. It's like adding fuel to the fire. That's exactly what this is. Somebody added fuel to what was already a zesty little warm fire that was brewing, I think, between coworkers, meaning like, you know, arguments or disagreements. And yeah, it got out of control. So much so that someone in the work environment is taking this home at night. And I always see, you know, we have this blanket, they're sitting in bed, and this quilt has all the signs of the zodiac on it. I always take that to mean that there's multiple people involved. It's not just a one-on-one thing, as we see with this, right? So whether these people are sneaking off to not deal with it, somehow they're involved in the situation. And again, this person is worried. Now with this card, I always know why does it matter? Like why? Sorry, Gemini, my camera froze. So with this card, this person is up at night with anxiety because they care so much. Whatever happened in this group dynamic, they want so badly to fix it and just go back to the way things were. They wish they could erase it so that it never happened, because they are riddled with anxiety, to the point where it's almost, it's become like, I want to say like a tick, but mentally unstable in some case. Like this person is, again, like the anxiety is impacting their day and their night. Again, it's escalated wildly out of control. This is a card, the Nine of Swords speaks to a long time this person has been feeling that way. I don't actually think that's the case. I think it started off small, and again, it's like somebody just threw gasoline in the fire and there was like an explosion, and now it's like it went from feeling slightly uncomfortable or slightly stressed to, holy shit, am I gonna get fired tomorrow? It's very intense energy, Gemini. All right, so let's throw a clarifier on this. I'm still not entirely certain which role you play, so we'll see if that comes out later. Sometimes this card I do sense regret, though. So if this was the person acting on, or initiating that gasoline explosion, if you will, there may be some regret there. Or maybe they put themselves in a position where they're worried about the safety of their job, or it could be the money, right, is I don't know, did something take place where now it's going to impact the paycheck you take home, or I don't know, are they going to cut your hours? Are you going to have to switch offices and your commute is going to double? Like there's something that's going to impact you career-wise that you're just like, oh my God, what have I done? You know, rocking yourself back and forth. It's being clarified by the Death card. So, coming out of that Scorpio full moon, we know that the card of Death is the card of Scorpio, but more importantly, it's the card of transition, of release. What do we need to release and let go of in order to make room for change? I always use the cheesy metaphor of the cocoon to the butterfly, or the caterpillar to the cocoon to the butterfly. It's changing, but something ultimately has to die in order for something beautiful to come out again. So in a less severe way of looking at this, what needs to be transformed? Well, people's attitudes, for one thing. I can tell you right off the bat, this cocky mother, you know what, is doing no good. So if this is you, Gemini, flat out, I'm going to say it, you were in the wrong. You or some of your actions were unwarranted, because again, throwing gasoline on the fire, I just keep getting that. If that wasn't you, if this is you, you know, worried about, I don't know what this would be, but again, somebody else's actions, maybe you fought back, maybe it was fire and fire, right? Something needs to be released here, and it may be egos. Egos need to be released so you can literally like wipe the slate clean and start anew. Or I'm going to be super real. What needs to die? This could be someone being released, someone being let go, and that would account for this severe anxiety, right? Now, I'm not predicting this, right? This is what's going on in the external, so you would already be aware of this if that was your circumstance. So very important to say that. And with that being said, we all have free will, right? Nothing I say in these readings are ultimate. Like, there's nothing set in stone here. We all have free will. These are just options of, if you continue down the path you're going, this could be a potential outcome. Somebody being let go, someone being fired, right? Yeah, someone no longer, I'm just seeing her reaching out her hand for mercy or for money. Someone being cut off. So, okay, in a less severe, if it's not being fired or released, it's you cutting ties with that person who did you dirty or who did you wrong entirely. It's not even just kind of that like pretend fake being nice in like the coffee room to each other, like hi, which I don't condone, by the way, but it flat out is like, don't talk to me or I'll go to HR. It could be as severe as that, because again, it's a death. That's pretty significant change. It's clarifying this anxiety, right? Yeah, darker energy, Gemini, Jesus. Okay, let's see what the heart of the matter is, the conflict of the matter. Okay, thank goodness. Do we see like this card is bright and cheerier? Sigh of relief. All right, Gemini, what is the heart of the matter? What is potentially the conflict of the situation? What are we trying to get at, the meat and potatoes? The Nine of Fire. This is clearly the card of of being defensive, of being blocked, of trying to go down this road and not being able to. But especially because, again, Gemini season, communication, the lovers, the two people, you know, potentially, oh my God, was there a lovers quarrel in the office? No, I'm just kidding. Someone is not letting their guard down. Someone is being defensive to the point where they're wounding relationships. They're ruining relationships. They're cutting people off from communication, from collaboration, from working peacefully, from establishing that harmony and even teamwork, camaraderie in the office. Someone is being stubborn here. They're just like, no, again, the whole I was in the right thing. Someone needs to come off their high horse. That's what this is. Like, if you want work to be a pleasant environment, you have 2 9s here, right? 2 9s. Closing out completions of cycles. Somebody needs to get over this anxiety, and somebody needs to get over themselves. Okay? Again, I don't, you know, whichever you are, you know, great, fine. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm giving you tough love, Gemini. I should not yell at you. I should try to be more mellow. But I can feel it because I feel it in the cards that people have very strong opinions. People are angry. People are heated. Somebody feels like they got screwed over. And I do kind of sense that this person potentially is the one that's actually who's very regretful. I don't see this so much as the person on the receiving end. How we were saying the one crying, I'm kind of doing a 180 on that. Again, it wouldn't take what resonates, but I feel like the person who overstepped their bounds, who exerted their power, who added gasoline to the fire, there's something about it that I think they're regretting their actions, and rightfully so, because I'm sensing that it was not the correct move. Yeah, maybe somebody did some sort of action that was above their job title, like they made some sort of call or some sort of ruling, a judgment, whatever, and it affected the team and they didn't have the right to do that. It could be something like that. So again, coming off of our high horse, putting our guard down, having an open and honest conversation about, hey, how do we move past from this, right? There's a road. You may feel like you're being attacked. This was the first card that came out. Remember the idea that you have the higher ground? You might have the higher ground, but what did you do to get there? What kind of shady tactics are you using to prove your own strength and to go against like the team, the group? You're isolating yourself. Excuse me. And that's what this is too. This person is isolating themselves because they're so stubborn. They won't let their guard down. It's kind of sad though. I actually do feel sympathy for this person. I think they were in the wrong and they did something that they shouldn't have, but it's like this ant scurries over, and I feel like if this is you, Gemini, you're just like, oh, finally someone to talk to, because you've isolated yourself. How do you regrow from here? How do you transition out of this awkward period with coworkers or with your boss? You know, maybe your boss is mad at you. There's a lot of phallic imagery coming to mind here. Cockiness, right? But this can also be like the penis card, the boner card, exerting your power. And because again, it's conflicts among the team. It's like, I'm sorry, apologies for the language, but it's like a dick measuring contest. It's like who can exert their power the most, who can prove their strength. Here's the thing, I think you did, Gemini, but it wasn't worth it. It was not worth it. You've isolated yourself and you're having anxiety that maybe it's just that you don't have any friends there anymore. Maybe you've cut off, you've brought like death upon yourself almost. Ugh, Gemini. I'm sorry. It's not a fun read. So the 9 of Fire is being clarified by the King of Wands. Okay. So more wand energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What does he sit on? He sits on his penis throne, right? Come on. But I mean, that's really, that's sort of what wands stand for, is a masculine attribute. So in a higher vibration, the King of Wands is passionate. He's the king of passion. He's the king of creativity. He's the king of charisma. People are naturally drawn to fire signs because they have that spark about them, right? They offer you warmth, right? They're fire. There's something magical about them, right? The witches, the wizards, they hold the wands. This is the King of Wands. And wands can also stand for our career of growth, right? The way they look like trees or something else, right? Growth. Growth, it has to do with this. Personal growth and development. It has to do with overcoming your ego in a classy way. That's the best way I can put it. Instead of cowering behind your wand of like, well, I won the argument and I'm right and blah, 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 blah. It's like, get over yourself. You create peace and harmony. It's like, how I was saying somebody added gasoline to the fire. This is like the fire going out, and the person who's putting it out is the King of Wands. And here's why that's significant. It's because he's the one who holds the power. He's the one who took it from a minor conflict to boom, gasoline to the fire. So I'm getting from this, you're the one who needs to make it right. You're the one who needs to come in and it's like wave the wand that has something to do with wiping the slate clean. Of getting off your high horse, of not being defensive and just making it right. Ruling the palace, ruling the kingdom the way a king would in a higher vibration, right? People respect him, people admire him, people bow at his feet essentially. Don't let that go to your head though. Rule in a just way. Because here's the other way I can interpret that. This is a facade. If you've won some sort of battle or argument or shiesty tactics to get ahead, you're coming into the office pretending you feel like this, but on the inside, this is what you're feeling. It's very different. Lose the ego. This is the card of Leo. You might be dealing with a Leo. This speaks about not being defensive, and this could also be, if these are two different energies, this is the person who suffered, if you will, from the petty conflict. They're intimidated to confront you because they do see you as a powerhouse. You proved your strength. You flexed that muscle. You were kind of a dick, right? And again, you've isolated yourselves, and so people are then cowering behind their wands because they don't want to approach you anymore. Again, there is something about isolation here, but it's maybe everybody just needs to take a chill pill and lose the ego and like create peace and harmony. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that. The Chariot. So you have the Chariot twice. Where was the other one? Or no, maybe you didn't have the Chariot twice. That's so weird. I could have sworn you did. Weren't we talking about the Chariot? Okay, apologies. Chariot, the card of Cancer. Talks about internal balance. Balancing, sorry about the light. The dark and the light horse, or dragons in this deck, need to work in unison, right? If you were the charioteer, you have to keep the reins, the control of these two animals driving you forward. They need to work in unison together, and you need to be in control to get to your destination, to achieve that victory, to, get to the location, to win the prize, to, get the money, whatever it is, accomplish the project. But it's a metaphor for the internal. Your internal balance must be in check, right? Your dark energies and light energies, which we all have, we're human. It seems like somebody acted with some darker energy coming to the surface. And you know what? People are human. That happens. People make mistakes. People say things in haste, or things that are bad decisions and poor taste, that people get fiery tempers. But do you have the strength? Do you have the power? Do you have the humility to come forward and, I do want to say, make an apology or make it right, make it balanced again? And again, this has to do with your internal balance. Can you get rid of that fiery temper and make it so that you're approachable, so that people want to work with you again, Gemini? You could be a Gemini, Cancer, Cusper. This is the card of Cancer. Cancer is a motherly energy, though, nurturing. The Chariot is the card of Cancer because it gets us back home to that safe domestic feeling. People feel safe and comfortable in the home. People want to feel safe and comfortable in the work environment. And not only do they not feel safe and comfortable in the work environment, they don't feel safe, or not safe, that's a harsh word. They don't even feel comfortable at home because they're sweating it out. They're uncomfortable because of what's transpiring at work. Ooh, it's very, very interesting energy. All right, so what is your ultimate guidance? Ooh, we're doing okay for time. Knight of Fire. Okay. So I see this as more wand energy. You may be dealing with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, potentially. Or again, this could just be acting out of that fiery temper, potentially. This is rushing in to save the day. This can sometimes be the card of acting on impulse, but in this case, it's needed. It's, okay, it is restoring the balance from acting on impulse, and the way, again, whoever it was who kind of jumped in and exerted their power, the swiftness of how that happened, how it went from a minor fire to an explosion, that's how it needs to be fixed. But there's peace and harmony here, the way he's writing it on a goose. Is that a Canadian goose? I don't know what that is. It's swift and majestic and beautiful, but ultimately it's coming in to save the day with that same fire and passion that exploded or caused conflict or left people isolated. You need to fix it swiftly is the guidance. And this is the card of Sagittarius. Sagittarians are not one to pick fights per se. They tend to welcome many people to the tribe. They like to joke around. They like to have fun. They work hard, play hard. Sagittarians can be a very fun energy. The Knight of Wands is very fun. He likes new experiences. He likes meeting new people. He likes having those conversations and learning. He likes to travel. He likes, you know what I mean? There's a need to like be a higher vibration of what you were before. Because ultimately, what it's optimistic to me because it's saying you can fix this, Gemini, but you need to fix it quick. It's getting worse day by day the longer you sit and wait. Yeah, absolutely healing. The Knight of Fire is being clarified by healing. Heal the relationships, the bonds that were broken, the people who have been crying or having anxiety, whatever that is. There needs to be healing. In the upright, this is pain, sorrow, sadness, heartbreak. Fix it, Gemini. And fix it fast. All right, that's what I have for you guys. A very interesting read. If it's not your story, please, don't take it. But yeah, there's some gems in here. If this does resonate, there's a need to fix it, as I said, swiftly, quickly. All right, please like, share, subscribe if that resonated with you. Leave me a comment if you want. I will catch you guys very soon for your June readings. Have a lovely rest of your week.